Launched it deep. A lot of down there. Can he catch up to it? He can. He's into the end zone. Touchdown.
Zach, what an exciting game you guys had.
Running room. Cuts. Touchdown.
We're all staying together. It's kind of neat to see how we've all progressed.
Albert throws up the 3. Good. Pioneers with a good opportunity. And a goal! Big hook. And a jab right to the jaw. And lights were out.
Tying the game up at 4 with this power play goal. New school records from 2 freshmen.
I want to remind you, anytime you want the latest and the best of Northeast suburban area in sports, tune into TV 19. You will get the best coverage. Don't forget that.
And we welcome you inside Aldrich Arena. It is the Rivalry pregame show. White Bear Lake and Hill Murray set to face off in just a half hour. We got a full slate of coverage here on TV 19 Sports. We're going to bring you all over Hill Murray and White Bear, tell you about some of the great players, give you a little bit of the history of the rivalry, and we'll get you set for this game. It's going to be really exciting. Live here on TV 19 Sports. So great. With Ryan Shanley, I'm Zach Halverson. Ryan, obviously every year this is a game that both teams really circle on their calendar. It's a special rivalry and really brings out a tremendous attendance and great passion in the people, the fans.
Certainly, it's a great night for hockey here, and Hill Murray's having another fine season, and seems like White Bear plays them tougher the higher Hill Murray's ranked. So if that trend holds, we could be in for a great one tonight.
Absolutely, and as you mentioned, Hill Murray with some a great season thus far, beating some really great teams. We'll take a look in a moment here in the previous games for the Hill Murray Pioneers. Pioneers really with some fantastic wins, including beating teams like Benilde St. Margaret's, Lakeville South down there, Burnsville as well, and has on a great homestand that featured a amazing win against the Edina Hornets. They got revenge. It was a 4-2 loss in the Schwann Cup final. They turned it around and beat the Edina Hornets last Saturday here at Aldrich Arena 6-1.
Yeah, really a signature win for Hill Murray. They also, of course, lost in the state final last year to Edina, so I don't think they wanted to lose 3 in a row. They were pretty motivated for that one. They actually played really well. I thought that was one of their better games in the loss to Edina 2 weeks before that in the Christmas tournament. Hill Murray outshot them about 2-1. Just couldn't put the puck past the goalie. But they got a couple breaks last Saturday, got an early lead, and just kept rolling.
And Hill Murray, obviously one of the a very well-coached team. Head coach Bill Lechner, another season here coaching the Pioneers. How has he done with this new Pioneer squad?
Well, another fine year by the Pioneers, and always a great job by the coaching staff. Of course, Bill Lechner, a very familiar name in Minnesota high school hockey. His co-coaches, I think, have done a great job too. Pat Schaffhauser coaches the defense. And Tony Ciro has been the goalie coach for about 5 years. Hill Murray's graduated a lot of great goalies. It never seems to phase them. This year, Sam Ilgen has stepped in, first-year starter, and goaltending's been another strong point for Hill Murray.
White Bear Lake, on the other hand, really an up-and-down season thus far. December schedule was very easy. They played some really low-ranked teams, and then, well, they moved into January and things changed. They got a good win over Centennial early on, but then fell to Edina on a tough game there, and then played Cretin-Durham Hall last Saturday, and unfortunately for the Bears, lost a game in which they really didn't play well. Quite frankly, White Bear Lake, at least in January, is at least the last couple games, struggling as we take a look at their previous games here, and you'll see the teams that they played in December, and they don't compare to the teams they played in January. And this is perhaps, with Hill Murray, one of the greater tests. You see the teams that they beat early on. Woodbury is struggling. They swept Woodbury in their conference schedule. Moundsview, they beat Moundsview. Moundsview not really great. They tied Forest Lake. You saw that game earlier this year on TV 19 Sports. Not a lot of competition. They fell to Hopkins in a game that they really should have won, but just really struggling where the White Bear Lake Bears, at least in January here, and so it will be tough. You see Hill Murray out on the ice now. You're looking at Mitch Slattery, and Ryan, let's talk about those uniforms here. They got the warm-up. Is that going to be for the entire game, or is that just for the warm-ups there?
I think they're going to wear them all night. They wore them against Edina. These are throwback jerseys from the old Hill High School, the all-boys high school in the 1960s.
Yeah, it's really, really cool jerseys here. You're looking at White Bear Lake making their way onto the ice. Those are just strictly warm-up jerseys. Some really cool features about those jerseys. A lot of sponsors have donated, including NHL players. You see on some of those jerseys, Ryan Carter has one jersey, number 20, and New Jersey Devil logo, and it's pretty cool to see that. As we continue on here on the Rivalry pregame show. In a little bit, we will talk about the Hill Murray Pioneers. We did a little cool little video there showcasing both teams. Hill Murray, that's coming up. We'll also look at White Bear Lake as well. And when we come back, we'll bring you through Hill Murray, talk about their goaltender, talk about some top forwards and defensemen, and keep it rolling here at Aldrich Arena. It is the Rivalry pregame show live on TV 19 Sports. Pregame show. Welcome back to Aldrich Arena. We went out to the Hill Murray practice on Monday and caught some great sights and sounds. Let's take a look.
Okay, let's get it going. Let's have a good practice. Let's go. Push yourselves. Be best. Be strong on that stick, okay? Play the game the way you're supposed to. Move your feet. Look out. If you can't take a hit, then you shouldn't be out here. Find the lane. Follow him up, 14, follow him up a little bit. Yep.
Great look out there as Bill Lechner and the Hill Murray Pioneers practicing, getting ready for actually their Tuesday game against Tartan. It was a 9-2 victory for the Hill Murray Pioneers, and then they came back now Thursday as they will host White Bear Lake on this this homestand. We're talking about now Sam Ilgen. He is in net, Ryan. Ilgen actually has White Bear Lake roots, former Bear, and so that's going to be a little bit extra motivation for him tonight.
I'm sure this will be exciting for him. He's He's a senior. He's got 1 year as a starter, and he's making the most of it. He came up big for Hill Murray, their big wins over Wayzata and Edina last week, and I expect with the energy and atmosphere here tonight, he'll have to make some big saves again.
Elgin with a 91% save percentage. He really has been in the shadow of guys like John Dugas last year, and obviously took a lot of Dugas's effort to heart, and has had a pretty solid first half of the season here.
Right, Elgin got in only a couple games last year. He had a save percentage around 80%, so he must have worked very hard to get himself in shape for the year. This year he's a starter. His save percentage is up over 90%, and he's done it against some of the best teams in the state. Yeah,
absolutely. Sam Elgin, certainly a heck of a player to watch out for. Another player to watch out for is Mitch Slattery. He's number 28, and really one of those guys that, he certainly is talented. He's got an attitude with him, and he really likes to play the game of hockey.
Certainly, Slattery is one of the more gifted offensive players in the Twin Cities. He's big, he's tough to knock off the puck. He'll try a lot of different moves. They might not work 3 or 4 times in a row. He'll keep trying them, and he might do something interesting. He took a pretty good beating in the section final, too, against White Bear last year, so I'm sure he's motivated a little extra tonight.
Absolutely. If I'm not mistaken, Mitch Slattery was actually, he took an early game misconduct in the...
Oh, that was in the regular season game. Yeah, he only played 1 period. Right. He still got the winning goal. But
he did. And so we'll see if that... I believe it was involving Jake Wallen, and we'll see if that Mitch Slattery, Jake Wallen, they exchange more words again. That'll be fun to watch there. Another great forward that, and there's so many of them to list on Hill Murray's side. Josh French is a fantastic hockey player.
French really has had an outstanding season. He's the senior captain and first-line center. Scored the winner in the final minute against Wayzata. And interesting story, on Tuesday, Hill Murray was playing Tartan. They weren't doing very well. Tartan had just scored to cut the lead to 3-2, and then Hill Murray took 2 penalties at the end of the second period. They were down 2 men. French stole the puck, drew a penalty at the end of the second period, then right off the face-off at the start of the third, he stole the puck again, scored a shorthanded goal. That put Hill Murray up 4-2, and it was all Hill Murray after that. They won that game 9-2.
All right, we got to talk about this kid. I emphasize kid. He started last year as an 8th grader. Finally a freshman now, 9th grader. Joey Anderson, he's still living up to all the hype?
Absolutely. Joey Anderson, he plays right wing on Hill Murray's second line. Really smart player. Great passer. If there's a guy open, if there's not someone open, he'll shoot. He's also very strong with his stick, working the puck out of the corner, so watch for that.
Yeah, Joey Anderson, and by the way, he's got a brother now, Mikey Anderson, who is doing fantastic work as well.
Mikey Anderson, the 8th
younger brother, by the way, is in that
grade. Joey's the forward. Mikey plays defense. Mikey's a tough kid. They got an 8th grader and a 10th grader on Hill Murray's 3rd D pair, but they trust him in any situation. They'll play penalty kill against the other team's top players.
My word. On the defensive side, it's pretty solid as well. Jacob Olson. Talk about his play.
Yeah, Jacob Olson is a 6'3" junior defenseman. One thing Hill Murray doesn't have, they don't have a lot of size, but Olson is the exception. He can move back there. He's primarily a defensive defenseman, but he can provide some offense also.
He scored the only goal in the section final last year that sent the Pioneers to the state tournament. Davis Zarembinski, how is he playing?
Zarembinski had no goals during the regular season last year. He scored 4 in the playoffs, including the only goal of the section final. And he just scored his first goal this season Tuesday night, so watch out. He scores them in bunches.
Mm-hmm. Davis Zarembinski, Jacob Olson. Also, I mean, again, we haven't even talked about Mikey Anderson and the solid D. Is Hill Murray more of is it heavy forward or defense? What is their strong suit, or is it kind of even?
They're a balanced team. They have depth at all positions. I would say they're a little deeper on defense this year than last year. They do rely heavily on their top 2 lines, both for scoring and checking the opposing team. They will play a 3rd line. They scored a couple of goals Tuesday, but most of Hill Murray's offense is going to come from those first 2 forward lines.
All All right, well, there's the Hill Murray side of the story. When we come back, we will bring you the White Bear Lake side of the story. The Bears, certainly the underdogs, but they got some talent. We'll talk about that, and we'll get you set for this rivalry game, the Rivalry pregame show. That's what you're watching here on TV 19 Sports, live from Aldrich Arena. Welcome back here to the Rivalry pregame show. We just showed you the Hill Murray side of things. Let's take a look at the White Bear Lake side. Nick Anderson, our producer, went out to the Venice Sports Center to take a look at how the White Bear Lake Bears are preparing for this rivalry game. There it is, White Bear Lake ready to go. You know, they've actually, in the past, have actually put a Hill Murray Pioneer jersey during the summer camps. They'll actually put a Pioneer jersey on the glass and give a little reminder to all the players what they're really practicing for here, because really the road to state each year goes through Hill Murray usually in that section final. White Bear Lake is a very talented team. They've yet to be tested other than the Edina game and Cretin game. They've took one loss to Hopkins other than that, and I'm sorry, a tie as well to Forest Lake. Other than that, they did pretty well in December, and it's really thanks in part to the great effort of Jake Wallen, number 20. There was talks over the summer, people trying to figure out if he was going to come back or not. Obviously, a lot of players with his talent tend to leave and go pursue other ventures in junior hockey, whatever. He stayed back here, and he has had a magnificent season. There we go, Ryan. And White Bear Lake really thanking Jake Wallen a lot for his tremendous effort. He's got plenty of goals. He's had multiple hat tricks throughout the season and is just a huge leader. Backing up Jake Wallen is Tommy Giller. Tom Giller is his line mate, and they were line mates last year as well, and their third line mate is usually kind of, I guess you could say, rotated through right now. Still trying to figure out who they're going to go with. They started the season with Hunter Lovedocken, another top forward. Didn't really work out as planned, and Sam Anderson stepped in. Sam Anderson, also another great talent as well. He's a senior this year, one of the captains, and is one of the great leaders on the team on the forward side. As White Bear Lake really at least on the forwards, you got to look at Hunter Lovedock at number 28, Tom Giller number 23, and Jake Wallen, of course, number 20. Really carrying the team as well at this point. And at this, quite frankly, at this venture, you want to start seeing more of the depth in White Bear Lake. The second and third lines just simply haven't been performing, at least on the score sheet. I got to talk about the third line really quickly. Brady Anderson, one of the really hardest working guys you will see. In fact, the third line has looked a lot better than the second line in recent games, and I really think it's due to the hard work. On the defensive side, that's going to be most important, Ryan, for White Bear Lake. They've got Hill Murray's got a lot of forwards that can score in many different ways.
Certainly they do, but they've been shut down a couple times this year. If Hill Murray has a weakness, it might be that some of their forwards try to get a little too cute sometimes, make one too many passes, or they start missing the net. So Lakeville North shut them out, and of course they lost to Edina. So if you can hold the score down against Hill Murray, they usually give up 2 or 3 a game. Could try to win 2-1 or 3-2. And
the defensive effort will be Jake Diddle and Wyatt Newpower. They're some of the top defense. They've also got others, Ben Cameron, Caden Whippler, and many more. It's a pretty good depth, at least on the defensive side. They haven't been playing well in the last couple games. The Bears are going to need the best tonight, really out of everybody, and that includes Chase Gorman, goaltender for White Bear Lake. Chase Gorman played a really, actually came into the season about halfway through last year and played his first game in late December and really took over, held the Pioneers to just 1 goal in the entire section final, and played very, very well in the goaltending area. We'll look at his stats in his moment here, and as we'll look at Chase Gorman's stats, maybe not, but plenty of great stats for Chase Gorman. And really one of the key factors to the White Bear Lake Bears here. As we look at it, 87% save percentage. Again, kind of an up and down. He was against Roseville. Brady Peterson started in goal. That was the only game that Chase Gorman did not participate in thus far. And again, 9-3-1 record, 87%. We'll see how Chase Gorman shows tonight. Again, you saw him last year, Ryan, in the section final. Your thoughts on White Bear Lake goalie Chase Gorman?
Gorman was outstanding in that section final. I think their game plan centers around him, making big saves. If their defense can force him to the outside and not give him anything too easy, rely on Gorman to keep him in the game, and then Wallen to pop in a couple. I think that's the route they're trying to go.
Right, absolutely. Chase Gorman, such a key part to the success. I mean, in terms of goaltending, as always, well, at least in the section final, it's proven, but really in any hockey game, it's a very important part. And Chase Gorman versus Sam Ilgen, it should be interesting to see what comes about it.
Definitely, we don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but the section final, if it is Hill Murray and White Bear Lake again, this looks like it could be the last year at the Coliseum. So some interesting angles in the off-season as far as where they're going to play the sectionals next year.
Yeah, that's going to be very interesting to figure out. Obviously, kind of the early talks are, I'm sure, in progress, but I haven't heard anything on my end in terms of where they're going to put it. They've got to pretty much figure that out soon. These things are usually planned out, at least in a year in advance in terms of where they're going to play it. Obviously, Mariucci Arena, certainly a leading candidate. That's where they have Section 2 and Section 6 finals. But where do you think we would prefer it to be?
Well, it'd really be a shame if they can't use the Coliseum, because that's such a perfect venue for those games.
It is.
You mentioned Mariucci. That would seat 10,000. It would hold the crowds. But the thing about Mariucci is that it's an Olympic ice sheet.
Right.
And I think some coaches are hesitant about that because, I don't know if it gives an advantage to one team or another, but it does make enough of a difference at that last game, that biggest game of the year, and you're playing it on a different ice surface.
Right.
It's a tough adjustment.
And that's something that Benilde St. Margaret's head coach Ken Pauley has mentioned in the past, the tough kind of change from NHL size to Olympic size ice. It will be interesting to see. I've also mentioned in the past, and then there's no talks about this. I haven't heard any word about this at all, but I was brought up the possibility with Target Center hosting the NCHC collegiate hockey tournament each year. Maybe the coaches, if they could work out a deal there. Again, would be terrible atmosphere, just like Mariucci. I don't think Mariucci's would be good atmosphere. I've been to the Section 2 and 6 finals before. It's not a great place for high school hockey, I'll just say. Great for college hockey, high school hockey, not a lot of atmosphere. And the only thing I think for Target Center they got in their favor is what you were talking about, the NHL-sized ice and the fact that there's enough people or enough seats in the stands for everybody. People have actually talked about Ritter, and the problem with Ritter is that's the same size as this place, Aldrich. So if you're going to have it at Ritter, you might as well just have it here and do something where you maybe split up the Section 4 and Section 5 finals. I don't know what you do. There's going to be a lot of discussion about it, and quite frankly, trying to figure all that mess out here. We'll see if we can't bring. I don't know if they're ready here, but can we bring in Joe Moore here, perhaps?
I'm with you guys.
We'll bring in Joe Moore. Joe, you're a big high school hockey fan. What are your thoughts on this? First of all, the Coliseum going away, and then also where do you see the next tournament being?
Well, I'll tell you, as far as the Coliseum going away, that is too bad. I mean, how many memories have been made in that building? And, we have people could talk about that. Zach, you could host an entire show on Coliseum memories. Your guess is as good as mine as to where things go from here. Everything that you've mentioned, I agree with. There's just really no other place other than the Coliseum that is such a perfect fit for the sections that are going to be displaced after this year.
Right. I mean, location was perfect. It was, right in where all the sections pretty much are. The size of the building was just perfect. I don't think you could have. It was just to the point where you had people sitting in the staircases, which, of course, the fire marshal, as we were reminded many years by Dave Wright, was not too happy about. And it's going to be really sad to see that place go because, quite frankly, so much history, and really a lot of that history has involved these two teams.
It certainly has, and as the Hill Mary Pioneers coming out onto the ice here, and Zach, Ryan, you guys have set the stage for this one tonight so well. Not only do the teams circle this one on the calendar coming into it, but I think a lot of the fans look for this one. Certainly we as broadcasters look forward to this one, and I don't know if you guys have a prediction segment or not, but what are your thoughts?
Sure. Prediction for the game, Ryan.
I don't make predictions.
Neither do I.
I'm just going to enjoy it.
Especially not with this game. All right, so we'll wrap up the Rivalry pregame show right now as White Bear Lake and Hill Murray both on the ice. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We'll send it up to Joe Moore for the call.
Thanks, Ryan. Thanks, Zach. Appreciate it. It is the Hill Murray Pioneers and the White Bear Lake Bears. It doesn't get any better for hockey on the east side of the metro area as the annual rivalry kicks in anew here on Thursday, January the 16th. Glad to have you along with us on TV 19. Hill Murray coming into this one ranked number 1 in the state in the latest Let's Play Hockey rankings. White Bear Lake number 17 in that same poll, and I don't know, guys, if we can pick up the in-house announcer, but we are about to get the starting lineups for the Pioneers and the Bears.
Let's meet tonight's starting lineups first for the visiting Bears of White Bear Lake High School. Starting at center, number 23, Tom Giller. At left wing, number 20, Jake Collins. At right wing, number 28, Hunter Polkdawkins. Starting on defense, number 12, Jake Kittle. Also starting on defense, number 22, David Whitler. And starting goal for the Bears, number 31, Chase Gorman. Your second goal for the Bears are Brett Anderson, Matt Greer, and Zach Cross. number 18, Jake Olsen. Also starting at defense, number 7, Davis Zarapinski. And starting at goal for your Pioneers, number 1, Sam Ilgen.
And there are your starting lineups for the visitors. The White Bear Lake Bears in goal, Chase Gorman. As Zach mentioned during the pregame, a record of 9 wins, 3 losses, 1 tie. Goals against of 2.73. His counterpart on the other side is Sam Ilgen. Guys, we are getting set for tonight's national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remove your caps. And in the honor of the United States of America, please join Dr. Jake and Grandpa Paul Kohler in the singing of our national anthem.
And as mentioned, Sam Ilgen gets the start in goal for Hill Murray tonight. Ilgen, 10-1 on the season, a 2.26 goals against average, a 91.2 save percentage. In front of Ilgen for the Pioneers tonight, starting off the defensive pairing, Davis Zarambinski and Jacob Olsen. The front line centered by Josh French. He'll have Mitch Slattery on the left, Dustin Kruger on the right. For the Bears, the defensive pairing starting off, Caden Whippler and Jake Diddle. And the front line anchored by Jake Wallen, who is number 2 in the state of Minnesota in goals scored this season with 26. He will have Tom Giller and Hunter Lovedocken up front with him to get things started tonight. It is an electric atmosphere here inside Aldrich Arena. The student sections are out in force, and that is something you might be able to pick up in the background as the game goes on. That almost takes on a life of its own during this rivalry as the student sections get amped up and get into it. My, oh my, do they ever. As the White Bear Lake Bears decked out in the blaze orange. The student section is. The Bears on the ice wearing the dark uniforms, the black trimmed in the orange and white. They'll be moving from right to left here into the opening period. The Hill Murray Pioneers wearing a throwback uniform, just a plain white tee almost with the green lettering and numerals, the black breezers. And we are set to drop the puck on the Pioneers and the Bears at Aldrich Arena. We are underway, and the Bears will pull away the opening faceoff. It's picked up and sent rink wide into the far corner by Wallen, and immediately Pioneers sent a rink wide pass right onto the stick of Dusty Kruger, and Kruger, as he comes in over the blue line, gets the first shot on goal of the hockey game. A high rising shot into the chest of Chase Gorman. He hangs on. We'll get a face-off just 14 seconds into the hockey game in the White Bear Lake zone. No score. Pioneers 12-2 entering play this evening. As I mentioned, ranked number 1 in the state of Minnesota. And another face-off win as pulling it back for the Bears that time was Giller. And the Bears will send it the length of the ice. They wave off the icing as the referee said Zarambinski could have played it. And Zarambinski has to go behind his net and do just that. He flips it ahead out to center. The Bears will gain control back in their own zone. Zarambinski rink-wide pass tipped ahead by Wallen, who takes a hit as he tried to maneuver through center. Pioneers quickly back the other way, in over the left wing. Trying to cut in was Slattery, but there defensively, Zarembinski able to take the puck away. Sent ahead and over skating at that time was Michael Johnson of the Bears, as they're getting a little hung up in their own zone. Now Johnson sends it ahead up the far wall, but there to intercept is Joey Anderson. Anderson sends it through the slot, nobody home, and the Bears will tap it out to center. Logan Sharp knocks it down, sends it right back into the White Bears zone. Hill Murray has to avoid the delayed offside. They touch up, and the Bears send it out through center. Tipped deep into the Pioneer zone by Michael Johnson. He's tied up behind the net. Bears able to pull it free. Centering pass, and just unable to maintain possession that time was Tyler Steffen. Another shot, this time coming off the stick of Joey Anderson right on. Gorman another save, and the Bears pull the rebound to the near wall. Kicked out to center, and Mills sends it back. Logan Sharp sends it ahead, and a pass was too far ahead of Tyler Funk, and from the wrong side of the red line, we get an icing call on Hill Murray. 15-16 left to play into the opening period. No score between Hill Murray and White Bear Lake. Hill Murray with the 12-2 record. Bears coming into action tonight. A record of 10 wins, 3 losses, and 1 tie. As it was alluded to during the pregame, the Bears have had a little bit of difficulty with the month of January in this whole 2014 thing. Just 1-2 in the new year, and the one win, an overtime win over Roseville. Otherwise, defeats against Edina, and then last Saturday outside against Creighton-Durham Hall. Centering pass, and just unable to get the shot on was Anderson. And that is waved off. The net is off, and the Bears thought they had one there, but it will be a face-off in the Hill Murray zone to the right of senior goaltender Sam Ilgen. 14:55 left to play in a scoreless first period, and Wyatt Newpower gets the explanation from the referee in the neutral ice. As you see the replay. Face off in the Pioneer zone. Giller able to win another one, pulled it back. Diddle just sends it around the wall. Slattery takes a whack at it and gets it out to center. Hustling back for it is Whippler. Whippler played it away from Josh French, who's on the forecheck. French kind of lost an edge there. Whippler able to skate away from him. Dump it off on the left wing. It's picked up and sent rink wide into the Hill Murray zone by Lovedocken. Pioneers quickly come back the other way. Pass knocked down at center, played back into the White Bear zone. And now behind the net, Diddle tries to spin away from French. Puck comes loose. Whippler picks it up. Whippler ahead into the skates of Wallen. And now Diddle behind his net into the corner for Whippler. Past him. Wallen trying to clean things up. Plays it back behind his net one more time. Joey Anderson there got a stick on it momentarily, as the Bears are really hung up now on this strong Hill Murray forecheck. Played back to the point. A shot from Mikey Anderson. That hits traffic out front. And here comes Wallen down the left wing. He's got some speed. Wallen looking to center. Drops it back. And just unable to put it toward the goal that time was Giller, as the Pioneers start back the other way. Bouncing puck at center was knocked down. And a hand pass call on White Bear Lake. Going to move the faceoff all the way back in the Bears zone. The faceoff will come with 13:40 left to play in a scoreless first period. No shot clock here at Aldrich Arena. Opportunities have been few and far between thus far. Kind of that feeling out period between the Pioneers and the Bears. And one of the things that interested me coming into this one was what kind of style we'd see out of White Bear Lake tonight. They tried to skate with Hill Murray in the regular season last year, suffered a rather convincing loss, 7-2 I believe the final was, and then as an opportunity and getting a shot off that time was Seiler, but that hits traffic. White Bear changed their methods in the section play in the section final. They just packed the defense in, tried to muck up the neutral ice area and take the skating advantage away from Hill Murray, and it was effective. It was a close game. White Bear Lake hit a post, but really didn't have much in the way of offensive opportunities, and White Bear able to skate into the state tournament 1-0. There's a shot from the point from Zarembinski. Comes through a maze. Gorman The save hangs on. We get the pushing and shoving at and after the whistle. And if the JV game prior to this was any indication, and let's be honest, folks, we already know this. These two teams really don't like each other a whole lot, and expect a lot of that action in front of the goals tonight, especially at and around the whistles. Darby Reagan gets pinned to the wall by Zach Thielen. Puck squirts free, trying to kick it along is A.J. Welch. He kicks it off into the far corner, picks it up. His pass is intercepted. A shot, Thielen right on, pad save Gorman. Delayed penalty upcoming on Hill Murray, or will it be on White Bear? And we've got some extracurriculars after the whistle. We'll see what comes of it all. Kind of getting dragged out of there was Frank Seiler. Seiler will go to the box for Hill. I believe it's Zach Breon going to the box for White Bear Lake. We'll have to pick up that number. It was kind of tucked down in the breezers and couldn't see it. And actually, it's Jake Diddle going to the box for White Bear Lake. So the teams will continue to skate 5-on-5 as we get the offsetting minors. 4:03 the time of the penalties. Face-off will come in the White Bear Lake zone as explanation is being given to the White Bear bench and Coach Tim Sager and now Hill Murray coach Bill Lechner. And now they've taken off Diddle's penalty from the scoreboard. There may be a misconduct as the second White Bear Lake player going into the box. Now they've taken off the penalty time to Seiler as well. So we're going to have to wait to get the announcement here inside Aldrich Arena to see what all these penalties are. Is now also being shown to the box is Davis Zarembinski for Hill Murray. Again, all these penalties coming at 4:03 of the opening period. And when all is said and done, it's going to be 5-on-5 hockey face-off in the White Bear Lake zone. And the scorer's table hits the buzzer. They're still not sure exactly of everything that's going on and need further explanation. We will wait until they get it figured out before we pass it along to you. White Bear Lake coming into this game, coming off that loss to Creighton-Durham Hall in a game played at TCF Bank Stadium, and not the Bears' best effort of the season in that 3-1 loss, as all the penalties are going to be assessed here. Seiler for elbowing for White Bear, or for Hill Murray. And Hill Murray scores! Doesn't take long off the face-off. It's 1-0 Pioneers. .413 the time of the Hill Murray goal, and the Pioneers jump to a 1-0 lead. Zach Mills gets the goal for the Pioneers as play carries on in the White Bear Lake zone. Mills from Tyler Funk and Mikey Anderson. Mikey Anderson, just an 8th grader. Assisting on the Hill Murray goal as the Pioneers again kind of have the Bears bottled up. Bears able to play it out to center. Mikey Anderson sends it across and then sent right back into the White Bear Lake zone by Casey Stom, who's only a sophomore defenseman. Yeah, it sounds like Hill Murray's young, but you look at it, they do have a number of seniors on this varsity team, unlike White Bear Lake, who really only has 5 seniors that are getting any playing time this season, so the Bears rather young. Bouncing puck finds its way into the White Bear zone, trying to skate through that was Josh French. Now Wallen kicks it from skate to stick as he comes into the Hill Murray zone, but offsides, White Bear Lake. Just a little hesitation there at the blue line. Caused Gillerian ahead of the play. So the faceoff will come just outside the White Bear Lake blue, or the Hill Murray blue line. 11 minutes, 40 seconds left to play in period number 1. It is Hill Murray 1 and White Bear Lake nothing, as you see the replay of the Hill Murray goal. And we'll reset things. Face-off win for the Pioneers. Their pass at center tapped free and finally pushed back for the Bears in their own zone. Sent ahead. Stefan had it caught up in his skates. Pioneers pulled it free. French now digs it free and maintains possession. Taps it along. Tried to power in, but there defensively to take him off the puck was Wackler. Now a shot and sharp through the screen. Blocker pad save made by Gorman. Pioneers look like they're on the power play, but we are 5-on-5. Sharp a blast right on Gorman, the save, and got pushed right back in front of him, and he's able to pounce down on the loose puck as again we get the pushing and shoving at the whistle. Faceoff will come to Gorman's left. 10:57 to play in the opening period. It's 1-0 Pioneers, and they have had the definite advantage in time of possession. Certainly territorially, as most of this game has been played in the White Bear Lake zone. Off the draw, it's Diddle pulling it free. Whippler plays it to the point, really to nobody as the Pioneers just cycle it right back through and into the near corner. Picked up off the half wall and sent out to center. Knocked down and sent right back in by Stamm. Gorman sets it up behind the net. And a pass comes free at center. Stamm will track it down back in the Hill Murray zone. He sends it across for Anderson quickly ahead off of his big brother's, if you can call the freshman the big brother, I guess you can in this case, off his stick and into the White Bear Lake zone. And finally, it's the Bears coming free. Turned over, or almost nearly turned over in the slot, but now 3-on-3 through center. Wallen cuts in, picked up by Lovedock, and tried to feed it back for Wallen. Bouncing puck didn't make it to him, and the Pioneers start back the other way. Knocked down by Giller and sent right back in. Off the top of the glass and out of play it goes as the collision. Giller kind of run over after he delivered that puck by the freshman Joey Anderson. Faceoff will come just outside the Hill Murray blue line with 9:58 to play in the opening period. And now they're going to move it right to the center faceoff dot. Hill Murray started the year rattling off 9 wins in a row before the defending state champion Edina Hornets knocked them off in the final of the Schwann Cup Gold Division, one of the premier holiday tournaments in the state. As the Pioneers send it into the White Bear Lake zone, tapped ahead. And now further along, this is Brady Anderson. Anderson in over the line, pushes it down into the corner. Newpower tried to play it behind the net. That pass is intercepted, and Pioneers send it behind Reagan. It comes free at center. This is Newpower at his blue line. Pass intercepted by Reagan and sent back into the White Bear Lake zone. Newpower back to play it for the Bears. Hill Murray with their top line back out there, and French knocks the puck free, then gets double teamed along the wall. Unable to kick it along with him was Welch. Now he does able to pick it up and send it deep into the Hill Murray zone. Jacob Olson sends it ahead. Slattery kind of taken down, no call there as the Bears able to send it deep into the Hill Murray zone where Zarembinski has it. Zarembinski, one of the 4 players that all went off the ice at the 4:03 mark. We'll catch you up on those. It was actually Zarembinski for roughing. He and Brady Anderson of White Bear Lake. As the Bears, with perhaps their best opportunity, steered aside by Ilgen. Now at center, it's Kruger. Left wing pass and in over the line, Slattery. Spins, it was knocked off his stick. It comes to Kruger, tried a sharp angle shot, but shot it right into the skates of Whippler. Now Whippler starts ahead. On the near side, Tyler Steffen from the red line sends it deep into the Hill Murray zone. Back to play it is Olsen. Bounced off the 1-4 check, a long left wing pass, and in over the line come the Pioneers. 3-on-2 as they do so, and trying to feed it out front was Mills, the game's goal scorer, but that never found its intended target, and now Giller has it. Just flips it high. Lovedocken going to try to run this one down. In the corner, tapped it further along. Wallen now gives chase. Lovedocken pokes it to Wallen. Wallen looking for options. Centering pass comes to Newpower at the point. A shot. Bouncy puck. They score! The sophomore, Wyatt Newpower, just throwing one out front, and the bouncing puck, hard to keep up with, and it bounces past Ilgen. We're tied at 1. 9:20, the time of the White Bear Lake goal. So they give the goal to Wallen as breaking back the other way. Hill Murray comes in. Gorman, a huge glove save. Taking one away from Darby Reagan. Cleared out to center. Mikey Anderson sends it across, and Stom sends it right back into the Hill Murray zone. Newpower slides it to the far corner. Picked up there by Cameron. Played further up the wall and out to center where the Pioneers gather it in, and again dump it deep into the White Bear Lake zone. So Wallen getting credit for the goal, number 27 on the year for the junior, who is already committed to UMass to play hockey with his older brother. Bears able to send it into the Pioneer zone. First one to it was Mikey Anderson. Tapped it into the corner, sent out to center. Diddle for Welch, and Welch sends it into the Hill Murray zone. It was touched by a Pioneer, so no icing on that call. Brady Anderson in the corner. Gets stapled to the wall by Mikey Anderson. And the Pioneers able to dig it free behind their net. Cross ice pass goes off the stick of Slattery and chopped back out through neutral ice by Diddle. Both teams kind of changing here on the fly. Pass intercepted at center, now tipped along. Right down the slot, getting the shot off was Michael Johnson, but he had that deflected well up and out of play. Face-off will come in the Hill Murray zone. 6:04 to play in the opening period. 1-1 our score. Assists credited on Wallen's goal go to Hunter Lovedocken and Brandon Dornfeld. I think they've got that one wrong. I'm pretty positive I saw Newpower take the shot that ended up with the goal. As the Pioneers breaking over the line, sharp angle shot steered aside by Gorman and then knocked out of the air over the goal and right out front, but the Bears able to clean things up but not able to clear as Mills turned and fanned on the shot. This is now picked up by Dornfeld. In over the line and getting a shot off as he did so was Tyler Steffen. Waffle patted away by Ilgen into the corner. Doug Freehan played ahead. Joey Anderson will flip it out to center. And now Diddle back in his own zone, slides it across for Whippler. Whippler from the red line tried to fire it in, hit a Pioneer with it. And the Pioneers quickly turn it around, and actually that wasn't Whippler on the far side, it was Wackler. And we got an icing call on Hill Murray with 5:16 left to play in the opening period. 1-1 our score. Pioneers struck first at 4:13. Zach Mills getting the goal. And Wallen answers at the 9:20 mark for White Bear Lake, giving us our 1-1 score at this point. Kruger will slide the puck out to center. And the Bears send it right back to the Hill Murray line. Beautiful little touch pass for French and over the line off for Slattery. Slattery walking in, forced behind the goal. Thought about the wraparound, just carries out the near side. Tried to throw it out front, that hits a stick and winds up. Just an easy little pop fly to Chase Gorman, who hangs on to it. Faceoff will come to his left in the White Bear Lake zone. 4:55 to play in the opening period. 1-1 our score. It's been a good one. Hill Murray has probably had the better of it, but doesn't matter. Where it counts, it's 1-1. Tapped free. Giller tried to thread it ahead for a wall, and that's intercepted. Pioneers back the other way. Kruger into the slot. A shot. Gorman the save and the rebound. Carried off to the near wall and played out to center where Zarembinski spins with it. Zarembinski tried to fire it in, hit his teammate Kruger with it. Kruger kind of lost sight of it, and now French picks it up for Slattery, who just directs it into the White Bear Lake zone. Giller the first one back for it. Absorbed the hit there as Josh French is in on the forecheck. He's just got it pinned to the back wall. Finally, it's pulled free and played by Whippler. Whippler, right wing pass. Picked up by Michael Johnson. Johnson carries in, throws it toward the front, and easily steered aside by Ilgen. Now chasing behind the net is Matthew Pitcher, junior forward. As both teams get into that third line here in the opening period. Knocked down at center and sent right back into the Hill Murray zone by Thielen. And now we're going to get a whistle, and the puck played with a high stick by White Bear Lake. That's going to move the faceoff all the way back in the Bears zone. 3:46 to play in the opening period. Another face-off win for White Bear Lake. Newpower puts on the brakes. Long right wing pass was knocked down and sent right back in by Lucas Wewerka. It's dug free by the Pioneers. Played back Wewerka's shot. That hits traffic and ends up behind the net. Spinning with it there is Reagan. Reagan, Wewerka up top, fires it wide. Rebound up the near wall is picked up and pushed out to center by Pitcher, knocked down and sent right back into the White Bear zone by Sharp. Newpower spins behind the net, kind of pushed to the far wall, is able to play it out to center. And the Pioneers, Mills a shot right on. Gorman makes the save and scoops the puck up. Another faceoff coming in the White Bear Lake zone. 2:55 to play in the opening period. 1-1 our score. Off the draw, it's picked up. Diddle slides it ahead and out to center. Quickly dumped back in by Stom. Now Diddle behind his net, surveys the scene, starts out the near side. Rink wide pass for Johnson is taken away by Funk. Tapped ahead by Anderson, but intercepted back at the blue line by the Bears and sent ahead. It's chipped further along that time by Steffen, but an icing call results on White Bear Lake. 2:25 to play in the opening period. 1-1 our score. The culmination of Rivalry Week, the game between Hill Murray and White Bear Lake. Mentioned the start of the season for Hill Murray. Rattling off 9 wins in a row to start the year before getting beat by Edina. A defeat, I should say, that they then avenged. Thumping Edina 6-1 here at Aldrich Arena just a week ago. Diddle chased by Slattery, leaves it off, picked up by Whippler. Rings it around, but Slattery gets a stick on it, and we are going to get a roughing call on Hill Murray, and I believe it's going to be Slattery going to the box for the Pioneers. It is his penalty, coming at the 15:09 mark of the period, and it gives us the game's first power play. It will go to White Bear Lake. And the White Bear Lake power play has been good this season. Coming into play tonight, 31.3% success on the power play for the Bears. However, they're going up against a penalty kill that's been pretty good in its own right. Hill Murray killing off nearly 86% of their shorthanded situations. Pioneers do have 5 shorthanded goals on the season as the Bears come in. Oh, puck redeflected and a nice pad save by Ilgen. The rebound ended up behind the net, where it's picked up and sent back into the White Bear zone. This penalty would just spill over into the second period. There's about a 10-second differential between period time and penalty time. Skating it into the Hill Murray zone, New Power gains the zone, now puts it back. Diddle, who quarterbacks his power play very well. He's got 10 power play assists. Trying for the high corner and missing. Puck comes all the way back out to center, and French challenging New Power. New Power able to keep him off the puck, but it's picked up now by Funk. He plays it all the way back, and a little back and forth action kills some more time off. 45 seconds left in the period as the Pioneers again gain possession, and Funk plays it all the way back to the defensive line, and once again driven the length of the ice by Jacob Olsen. Half a minute left in the period, 40 seconds left in the power play time for White Bear Lake. Long pass, Giller just puts a stick on it. First one to it, Zarembinski takes a whack at it. It's held in, coming in off the wall. Just slid out front, still loose. Oh, and Ilgen able to get it up and over the goal as the bouncing puck was ready to crawl over his shoulder and then getting slammed into the Hill Murray goal, knocking it off. That is going to bring a whistle and a stoppage in play, but no penalties, I do believe. Faceoff going to end up outside the Hill Murray blue line as we reset the Pioneer goal. 14.1 seconds left, as you can see on the screen, in the first period. Still 23 seconds left on the White Bear power play. Anderson and Steffen on the draw, and able to pull it free. Kruger sends it back into the White Bear Lake zone with 5 seconds left. Bears just going to be able to get it out to center as the horn will sound on the opening period. 17 minutes in the books here at Aldrich Arena. Your score at the end of one period of play: White Bear Lake 1 and Hill Murray 1.
Calling the GED Pep Talk Center. Jerry Stiller speaking. Your level 7 in-your-face pep talk.
I can keep pushing. Believe me, I'm good at it.
Once you've got your GED diploma, you'll feel so good about yourself.
You tell him.
Mr. Trejo, can I transfer this guy to you? He needs something a little more
persuasive.
Yes.
Whatever motivation you need, we've got a pep talk for you. Get your GED pep talk and find free classes at yourged.org.
Kids will spend 57 minutes making me go splat.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
Welcome back to Aldrich Arena as the team's coming back onto the ice for period number 2. White Bear Lake and Hill Murray all knotted up at 1 apiece at the end of one period of play. Shots on goal in the opening period dominated by Hill Murray. They outshoot the Bears 9-2. Yeah, you got that right. 9-2, the shots on goal in the opening period. in favor of Hill Murray, but on the scoreboard, we are tied at 1. The scoring looked like this in the opening period. Hill Murray got on the board first at the 4:13 mark. Zach Mills picking up the goal, his 13th of the season. Assists went to Mikey Anderson and Tyler Funk. And then at the 9:20 mark, White Bear Lake, none other than Jake Wallen, picking up his 27th goal of the season, tied it at 1. Wallen with the redirect out front, sent a bouncing puck past Sam Elgin. Just one of 2 shots on goal in the period for White Bear Lake, but it found the back of the net. And as we begin the second period of play, White Bear Lake will enjoy 9 more seconds on the power play as Mitch Slattery has that amount remaining on a roughing penalty assessed to him toward the end of period number 1. Bears in the black and orange, moving from left to right here in period number 2, and the Pioneers will kill off the rest of Slattery's penalty. The penalty box door opens, and we are back to 5-on-5 hockey here early, period number 2. Long pass at center, knocked down by Slattery. He plays it right back in, and off he goes on the forecheck. Almost got there before Gorman could get it away. Now it's picked up. Giller's pass at center, tapped further along, picked up, and Diddle will send it rink wide into the far corner. Waiting for it there, Wallen tapped it free in the corner. Giller plays it back to the point. Whippler just pushes it right back down the wall. Wallen centering pass, hops over Giller's stick, and the bouncing puck to the blue line, held in by Diddle. Now Jacob Olson takes it behind his net as we got something that came out onto the ice from the Hill Murray side of things. So with the whistle, we'll get a face-off in the Hill Murray zone. Opening minute of play here in period number 2, 1-1 our score. There are so many reasons this is such a great rivalry. You got public versus private. You've got 2 schools and neighboring communities, kids that have grown up together and perhaps played some youth hockey together as well as other sports. Here come the Pioneers, centering pass. Funk comes into the backhand, he scores! Tyler Funk gives Hill Murray a 2-1 lead. He scores just 56 seconds into the second period. 2-1 Pioneers. So Funk picks up an assist on the first Pioneer goal. He scores the second, giving them a 2-1 lead for Funk. It is his 3rd goal of the season. And that was just a quick transition, and suddenly a couple of Pioneer players snuck in behind the defense. As Diddle chased behind his net, leaves it off for Whippler. Tied up in their own zone again are the Bears. Mills fires one wide. Joey Anderson gets to the rebound and just pushes it right back down the wall. Funk digs it free. Back to the point. Reagan, a shot comes through the screen. Boy, Gorman didn't see it until it was nearly right in the middle of his chest, and he's able to hang on to it and get a face-off in the White Bear Lake zone. So the second Hill Murray goal looks like this. Funk, his 3rd of the season, the assist to Joey Anderson and Zach Mills. So Mills and Funk each with a goal and an assist in this one for Hill Murray. Big hit behind the net as Seiler took the White Bear Lake player down. No call there as the puck comes out to center. Janchek sends it right back into the White Bear Lake zone. Newpower sets up behind his net. Now pitcher at center gets it deep into the Hill Murray zone. He chases in after it, bumped off the puck. Bears able to pick it up. Centering pass goes right through the crease into the far wall. Tapped back to the point by Welch. Trying to work down the wall with it was Fiddle. And now it comes free in the near corner as the Bears have some sustained pressure in the Hill Murray zone, and it's not coming from the top line. Kind of the grunts out there getting it done for the Bears on that shift as the Pioneers able to quickly get it through center and deep into the White Bear zone. Pioneers changing all 5 on the fly. Nice pass ahead, picked up, carried into the zone. Lovedocken dropped it off for Wallen, who pushed it behind the net. Lovedocken, big hit behind the play. Wallen along the wall. Giller kind of getting tied up. Wallen there as well, and now it's finally dug free, and Kruger to center for Slattery, just one man back. Slattery tried to lift it up and then just play it right back to himself. And as the puck comes free, Gorman able to trap it down. As Slattery and Giller kind of had words for each other the entire time. Of course, Slattery really got into it with Jake Wallen in last year's regular season game. Slattery picking up a game misconduct late in the first period. Sharp angle shot from Olsen hits traffic and pushed to the point, but Olsen there to hold it in and fires it wide. Kruger just behind the back, centering pass came free, and unable to maintain possession that time was French. Now Slattery centering pass off a stick will come bounding out to center where Olsen picks it up. Olsen gets picked by Wallen. Wallen coming in, shoots, he scores! Oh, what a move by Jake Wallen. He's got his second of the night, and we are tied at 2. '28th of the year for Wallen. This one comes at the 3:20 mark of the second period and ties it at 2. That is what you call a snipe. He picked his spot and hit it. Unassisted goal for Wallen as the Bears come right back in. Centering pass was intended for Anderson, but that was knocked free. Now leading the charge in, Funk, but on the left side, unable to drag the back skate, was Zach Mills. Offsides, Hill Murray. And the White Bear Lake student section starting to get into it. I'm sure that will be cause for rebuttal on the Hill Murray side of things as things are getting interesting here in Aldrich. Logan Sharp back in his own zone, chased by Anderson behind the net. Sharp puts on the brakes and then reverses course and comes bouncing out to center. Newpower knocks it down, plays it back into the Hill Murray zone where Sharp will gather it back in. He's pushed off the puck, trying to tap it deep was Anderson. Now Anderson in the corner. Taken to the wall by Sharp. Trying to dig it out of there was Steffen. Steffen up the half wall. Taken away, Pioneers at center and got caught up in Newpower skates as the Bears send it back, and into the Hill Murray zone it goes. Welch bumped off the puck, it comes free at center. Funk. Mills left it off. Anderson a shot, and Gorman the save. Mills tries to put it out front. He got it to the side of the net, and Gorman will cover it up there as the student section's going after each other. It's pretty good, and it's livening things up here in a standing room only Aldrich Arena. Face-off coming in the White Bear Lake zone to the left of senior goaltender Chase Gorman. 12:26 left to play, period number 2. As the Bears control of the face-off. Long pass at center, knocked down by Mikey Anderson and sent right in on goal. And Gorman makes the basket catch and I think thought about dropping that one down. There weren't any white jerseys in the vicinity. I don't know that he could really get that one out of his glove before the whistle sounded. So we will reset things again. 2 Gormans left in the White Bear Lake zone. 2-2 our score. The teams have traded goals, and each time Hill Murray has scored first to take the lead. White Bear Lake has not led in this one. Welch trying to power it out, unable to do so. This time does get it out to center. Anderson kind of got mucked up there with Mikey Anderson. Now pitcher trying to get it free, but Was able to stick left it away from Janczek. And dumped deep into the Hill Murray zone behind the net, played away by Stom to the far side. Stom taken down, right out front. And nearly a juicy rebound for Michael Pitcher, who has it behind the net, slides off his stick. Pitcher will pick it up along the far wall and fanned on the pass. Now it's picked up and pushed out to center, but a little too far for Janczek to maintain possession. The Bears drive it right back into the Hill Murray zone as they're changing things up on the fly. 11.5 to play in the period as the puck ends up out of play. Face-off will come back in the Hill Murray zone as you get a look at the second leading goal scorer in the state of Minnesota. Ooh, check that. That's his line mate, Hunter Lovedocken, who's found the back of the net 9 times himself this year. Rink-wide pass, Slattery in over the line. Into the middle, centering pass from French, comes back, and Olsen takes a whack at it and has it deflect up and out of play as bodies come together, Kruger and Lovedocken after the whistle. Face-off now to the right of Gorman in the White Bear Lake zone. It'll be Slattery and Giller on the draw. And Slattery just cycles it into the corner. Diddle behind his net. Pushes it along. It evades Lovedocken. Put out front. That hits the traffic that had congregated. Now Kruger got it on his stick. His shot never made it through, and French couldn't control it. And here comes White Bear Lake. Wallen in over the line, puts on the brakes, takes a push from French, but gets it down into the corner. Bodies are flying all over the place as the puck comes bouncing into the slot. Picked up Zarembinski, right wing pass in over the line. French tried to drop it off. It's picked up by Zarembinski. Zarembinski had the only goal in last year's section final between these two teams. Now it's taken away by Giller. Giller just looking for options and sends it high and out to center. Zarembinski at his blue line. Quickly sent ahead and just steered into the White Bear Lake zone by French as Hill Murray changes the front line. Long lead pass and now trying to break in. And unable to get the shot off was Tyler Steppen. Delayed call upcoming on Hill Murray, and White Bear Lake will go back on the power play. This penalty comes exactly 7 minutes into period number 2. Logan Sharp goes to the box for the Pioneers, slashing the call. So coming into the game, the White Bear Lake Bears, 21 power play goals on the season, 31.3% success. They have not yielded a shorthanded goal as they win the draw. Mentioned Hill Murray with 5 shorties on the year. Mills cut it off, but now Steffen plays it back to the point and unable to control it. Look out, Funk chasing after it. Catches up with it, but White Bear back defensively. Olsen a shot, and Gorman pad save. Rebound cleaned up by Steffen, who now drops it back off, and the Bears start through center. Newpower, his pass picked up. Steffen in over the line, carries into the corner, wants to set things up. Diddle had to come out over the blue line, and offsides the call on White Bear Lake. So an interesting maneuver there for the Bears as they started with the second power play unit on this power play opportunity. And now we'll get Diddle, Newpower, Giller, Lovedocken, and Wallen out. Penalty killers are Olsen, Zarembinski, Slattery, and Kruger. Wallen sends it deep into the Hill Murray zone. Zarembinski in the far corner will backhand at the length of the ice. 1:15 left on the White Bear Lake power play time. 9:10 left to play in the second period. 1-1 our score. Wallen ahead. Lovedocken in over the Hill Murray zone. Tried to drop it off. Giller in the high slot. Lets it go, and a glove save by Ilgen. Good hard wrist shot from Giller, but Ilgen Going down into that butterfly, able to reach up and take it at eye level. Face-off will be to his right. Exactly 1 minute left on the White Bear Lake power play. Giller and Slattery again on the draw. A lot of movement, and gonna whistle things down. And the centerman gonna change things up. Now Lovedocken and Kruger on the draw. Or Wallen rather. Wallen wins it back. Newpower just slaps it around the wall. Olsen picks it up, and look out below. Sends that one into the White Bear Lake bench. That's why everybody wears helmets, boys. And another face-off coming into the Hill Murray zone. Again, Giller and Slattery on the draw. Slattery tried to slap at it, played back to the point, but nobody there, and Diddle chased back to his blue line by Kruger, plays it to the far side for Newpower. Newpower in over the Hill Murray zone. Tried to feather it out front for Lovedocken and then ran into Lovedocken as they chased the loose puck. Zarembinski played it ahead, taken away from Kruger. Kruger gets it back and is able to clear the zone. Half a minute left on the power play as Diddle's pass deflects to the near wall. Tapped back by Lovedocken. Newpower took a tumble behind the play as Wallen sends it rink wide into the near corner. Lovedocken the first one to it. Put it right to the side of the net, and Giller couldn't control it to get the shot off. Now Lovedocken works his way up the wall, up top. Diddle sends it to the far side for Newpower and back for Diddle. Down to the front, tap to the near side for Wallen. Just has to peel off to the half wall. At the blue line, now Wallen with a little bit of space. Sent it across, but out of the zone it came, and Hill Murray is back at full strength as the Bears send it deep into the Pioneer zone. Pioneers a perfect 2 for 2 on the penalty kill tonight as the Bears go without the power play goal and quickly back in the zone. Shot hits traffic and picked up. Here comes Tyler Steffen through center. Lining him up as Mikey Anderson. Steffen delivered the puck. Comes around to the near side, pushed behind the net. Picked up and trying to work his way out front. Finally pulled free, played back to the point. Ooh, that came off the back wall to the side of the net, pushed right back into the corner, tapped free by Sam Anderson. Now Stom worked it past Anderson. Sent off the wall high and out to center by Seiler. And driven right back into the Hill Murray zone. 7 minutes left to play in the second period. 2-2 our score. Now trying to break through the defense, and nearly able to do just that. For Hill Murray was Reagan, but a good defensive play, diving out to break that one up. Didn't see who the defender was as Welch comes back through center. Welch in over the Hill Murray line, tried to snap a shot off, but that was right into the skates of the defender Wewerka. Pushed off to the near wall, Diddle trying to push it down into the corner. Takes a big hit from Mills along the wall, but it's pulled free by Pitcher. Little give and go, failed to connect with Pitcher. Following the play, Brady Anderson had it on his stick momentarily. Now Zach Mills able to get it out to center. Joey Anderson looking to make a move on Diddle. Diddle goes down. Anderson still looking for options. Played it out to the front, but Mills had fallen down and just kind of carried the puck with him, and here come the Bears the other way. Good end-to-end action here in the second period, a much more evenly played period than was period number 1. Now this is Joey Anderson, the freshman. Chips it along, looking for Mills. It was knocked down by Lovedocken. And now back in his own zone, Diddle. Backpedals, gets the spacing. And the Bears just going to feather it lightly into the Hill Murray zone. Back to play it is Sharp. On the near side, Zarembinski. Long pass at center comes free. Picked up by Slattery. Tried to tap it for Kruger. That failed to connect. Lovedocken for Wallen. Wallen trying to maneuver on Sharp. And Sharp just takes him and throws him down. Then Lovedocken retaliates. No call there as the Pioneers send it into the rafters. And that brings the whistle and the stoppage in play, with 5:15 left to play in period number 2. Get Get a good look there at Caden Whippler, the junior defenseman from White Bear Lake. And the face-off to the right of Sam Ilgen in the Hill Murray zone. Won by the Bears at the point, and Whippler just unable to hold that one in and maintain possession. And Newpower falls down, picked up by Slattery, slides it toward the back of the net. Whippler cut it off. Slattery unable to control as Newpower comes away with it. Nice outlet pass ahead for Steffen, further along in the left wing and sent into the zone by Anderson. Comes up the wall, Newpower keeping it alive. And now it does work its way out to center and sent right back in by Sam Anderson. Pioneers on the far side. Kruger's pass comes free into the skates of A.J. Welch at center. Now on the left wing, it's Slattery and over the White Bear zone. Centering pass goes bouncing through the slot to the far wall. Kicked behind the net. Ooh, big hit behind the play. No call there. Welch, there will be a penalty. Boy, the referee is standing right there. He didn't raise his arm, but the referee out at neutral ice saw it clearly. And once again, White Bear Lake going to go on the power play. A.J. Welch kind of doubled over as he comes to the White Bear Lake bench, getting some congratulations and hang in there hugs from his teammates as Mitch Slattery goes back to the box. It'll be a 2-minute minor on Slattery. It comes at the 12:40 mark of period number 2. Charging the call on Slattery. Well, typically in this rivalry, you kind of, over the years, have come to expect the penalties to mount up on White Bear Lake. A little more disciplined approach from Hill Murray has typically been the case, but tonight, Hill Murray has not had a power play, and this is the third of the game for White Bear Lake. They move it back and forth. Wallen looking for that top corner again. Fired high and wide, held in by Newpower. Up top, Diddle. Into the slot, Giller. Got tied up, couldn't get it through as Olsen will backhand at the length of the ice for Hill Murray. Good puck movement from the Bears, but did not result in a shot. As Diddle sends it. Newpower gets it ahead. Knocked off of Wallen's stick. It comes around to the near side. Diddle hustling over, trying to hold it in, unable to do so. And we get a whistle. We're getting another Hill Murray penalty, and the Bears will have a 2-man advantage. This time it's Joey Anderson going to the box. This one comes at 13:34. And the Bears will have a 2-man advantage for the next 1:06. 3:26 left to play in the period. Interference, the call on Anderson. And boy, this is a golden opportunity for White Bear Lake. In the JV game prior to this, a 0-0 game in the third period resulted in a 2-0 White Bear Lake victory with a pair of power play goals. Oh, Wallen comes right in and then fired it wide as, again, good puck movement. They got Ilgen moving side to side there. Pushed behind the net. Welch again bumped off the puck. It's picked up by Olsen and sent the length of the ice. Still 35 seconds left on the 2-man advantage as Gorman sends it ahead for Diddle. Diddle will skate it into the Hill Murray zone himself, drops it off for Giller. Giller loses his stick. Wallen plays it back to the point. Newpower got caught up in the skates and now it's pulled free. 1 man back. Trying the toe drag was French. Gets it back and a shot. Oh, and French just poked it wide as Gorman had no idea where it was. Delayed call up coming. It's going to go on White Bear Lake. Great penalty kill from Josh French. It was all set up when Giller's stick broke, and that just really took the wind out of the White Bear power play, and French took it from there for Hill Murray. Going to the box for White Bear Lake is Wyatt Newpower. 14:34 the time of his penalty. It is a roughing call on Newpower. So for 6 seconds, it will be a 4-on-3 advantage for White Bear Lake. And then Slattery will come out of the box. We'll skate 4-on-4 for another 55 seconds. And White Bear Lake, Coach Tim Sager has taken his timeout for the game right here. With 2:26 to play in the second period, the team's tied at 2, and gives me a chance to kind of reset everything for you as I was attempting to do prior to that timeout. So with 2:26 left to play in the second period, we are tied at 2. Face-off will come in the White Bear Lake zone. White Bear Lake will have a 4-on-3 advantage for 6 seconds. That's when Mitch Slattery will come back onto the ice for Hill Murray. We'll skate 4-on-4 for another 55 seconds after that. That is when Joey Anderson will come back onto the ice for Hill Murray. And at that point, it will be a 59-second power play for Hill Murray, which will be their first man advantage of the hockey game. And that is assuming we don't have any further penalties in the next 2 minutes. Something got thrown out onto the ice. That's certainly unnecessary. That'll get picked up and deposited in the scorer's bench as the teams get ready for the face-off in the White Bear Lake zone. We'll come to the right of Chase Gorman. Funk and Giller on the draw. Funk pulls it back. Stom. Shot knocked down out front. Giller leaves it for Diddle. We're now 4-on-4 as Wallen starts ahead. Tries to avoid Funk, able to do that. Gets the pass. Lovedock and carries into the Hill Murray zone, working on Stom. Backhand shot to the side of the net, gloved and held by Ilgen. So another 38 seconds of 4-on-4 hockey. 2:03 left in the period. And the face-off in the Hill Murray zone to the left of Sam Ilgen. Slattery and Welch on the draw, finally pulled free by the Pioneers. Stom skates away from Welch, gets it ahead. Funk taps it out to center. Kruger over skates, picked up by Funk, but the delay of the puck forces Kruger in offsides on Hill Murray. Face-off just outside the White Bear Lake blue line. It'll be Funk and Welch. Funk in on the forecheck. Whippler able to get it off on the side. Nice rink-wide pass. Tipped ahead. Welch bumped off the puck, but is able to get it into the Hill Murray zone, where another big hit in the corner. Able to maintain possession. Stom has the White Bear Lake player just draped along the wall. The White Bear Lake player now just killing off time on the Hill Murray power play. As Anderson back on the ice, it's 5-on-4, the skating advantage for Hill Murray. 1:15 to play in the period, 47 seconds left on the Hill Murray power play time as Funk got it to the blue line, knocked off his stick. Zarembinski there will reset things as he backpedals into his own zone. Now Zarembinski starts ahead, right wing pass. Carried into the White Bear Lake zone, putting on the brakes is French. Played back to the point for Zarembinski. Davis, Zarembinski, fake the shot. Cross ice pass. Unable to control, but Zarembinski will hold the zone and play it down the wall. Slattery on the far wall. Into the face-off dot, into the high slot. Slattery tried to play it back to the right wing for French, who now has it at the half wall. Zarembinski, 30 seconds left in the period. Cross ice pass, oh, standing all alone was Slattery, but couldn't control the bouncing puck. Slattery now for Joey Anderson. White Bear Lake back at full strength. We're back to 5-on-5 hockey as a shot goes wide and rebounds all the way out to center. Joey Anderson, rink-wide pass. Now that's intercepted. Here comes Newpower. Newpower lets it go. Ilgen the save in there to clear away the rebound was Slattery. And then he gets bumped. I didn't hear the whistle either. Not sure exactly why the whistle would have blown there. As we've got a few players starting to square off and find a dance partner. I don't know that any penalties are going to result from this. We will get a face-off in the Hill-Murray zone with 7.5 seconds left on the clock. As you see the replay, big hit there by a White Bear Lake player, but was delivered on Slattery. Giller and Slattery on the draw. Now Wallen steps in for Giller. Wallen wins it to Giller. Back for Wallen, you got to shoot. Time running out, winding up. Whippler's shot goes well wide, and that will bring us to the end of period number 2. And just like the first period, the second period finds us all knotted up. 2-2 our score between White Bear Lake and Hill-Murray. Second period scoring looked like this. Hill-Murray got it going quick at the 56-second mark. Tyler Funk picking up his 3rd goal of the season. Joey Anderson and Zach Mills picked up the assists for the Pioneers. And then at the 3:20 mark of the second period, for the second time tonight, Jake Wallen tied us up. His 28th goal of the season. It was an unassisted goal for Wallen, and we stand 2-2 at the end of 2 as you watch boys high school hockey on TV 19.
A full life, measured in seats, starts with the right ones early on. Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Learn how to prevent deaths and injuries by using the right car seat for your child's age and size.
Brush, brushy, brush, brushy, brush, brush your teeth. Every day and every night. Now it's your parents' turn. Here's what you gotta do. Let them have your toothbrush so that they can brushy brush your teeth. Great job, you're almost done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, that's it. Help your teeth stay healthy. Brushy brush with a grown-up every day.
And welcome back inside Aldrich Arena, live this evening for the rivalry game of the season. White Bear Lake and Hill-Murray boys hockey tied at 2 at the end of 2 periods of play. In the first period, Hill-Murray scored first, White Bear Lake answered. In the second period, Hill-Murray scored first, White Bear Lake answered. Shots on goal and a shot correction from the first period. First period shots 14-7 in favor of Hill-Murray. In the second period, 10-5 in favor of Hill-Murray, as they are out shooting White Bear Lake 24-12 through 2 periods of play, but 2-2 our score as you get a look at the upcoming schedule for White Bear Lake following a conference game on a Saturday. They take a trip next weekend up toward DeRange. They get to take on the Hermantown Hawks, 3-time state runners-up in Class A. The Hawks always a Class A power. And in a tilt with Grand Rapids. Pioneers following this rivalry game jump right back into Classic Suburban Conference action. They'll have a game Saturday night against Henry Sibley before the rematch against St. Thomas Academy. The Pioneers defeated the Cadets earlier this season in their lone matchup thus far, 3-2 the final when they played here at Aldrich Arena back on December the 12th. Always fun to see the Pioneers and the Cadets square off as well. In fact, speaking about the 3-time state runners-up from Hermantown, each of those 3 state title game losses came at the hands of those St. Thomas Academy Cadets. In Class A this year, the Cadets, a Double-A team, and ranked number 11 in the Double-A poll entering the week. Hill Murray moving left to right. Here's French on the backhand. He fired it wide, and getting checked into the net here on the near side was Kruger. We'll reset the White Bear Lake goal. Have a face-off in the Bear zone. Opening minute of play, period number 3. Some folks thought it might be Hill Murray against Jake Dolan on the scoreboard, and that's kind of how this one has played out. Jake Dolan with both White Bear goals. Zarembinski holds it in. His shot through a screen, he scores! Davis Zarembinski gives the Pioneers their 3rd lead of the night. It's 3-2 Hill Murray. For Zarembinski, his 2nd goal of the season. As you see the replay, he just let it go, and Gorman got a pad on it, but not enough to steer it wide of the goal. It's 3-2 Hill Murray. The goal coming just 21 seconds into the 3rd period. Anderson fires one off the side of the net. Kruger and French pick up the assist on Zarembinski's goal. As a little extra pep in the step, Hill Murray applying a good forecheck here. Has White Bear bottled up here in the opening minute of 3rd period action. This is Joey Anderson leading the charge. Winds up, lets it go. Gorman, big pad save, big rebound. Taken to safety by Michael Johnson. Now at center, Anderson, Brady Anderson slid it along. Sam Anderson got it into the zone as he was hammered into the boards. Centering pass right down the slot. Oh, and Pitcher fires one wide. Pitcher at the half wall trying to hold it in, getting some help at the point from Ben Cameron. Pitcher and Brady Anderson has it tied up. It's finally dug free by Mikey Anderson and played to the far side. Stom unable to clear the zone. Brady Anderson centering pass, one-timer. Oh, big save from Ilgen. Now at the point, just playing it down into the corner was Cameron. Loose puck picked up, cycled. Mikey Anderson behind his net. Plays it ahead, rink-wide pass. Got caught up in Joey Anderson's skates. He just got it over the red line and deep into the White Bear Lake zone is Wyatt Newpower back to play it for the Bears. Chased from behind his net, Newpower slides it off on the left wing. Return pass, knocked down at center. Kruger on the far side, French down the left wing. A little whirling dervish move, but unable to get the pass off. Slattery tries to play it further along. Slattery pulled it out front, but then coming back into the play to take it away from him was Giller. And now Giller will start up ice for White Bear Lake. Flips it ahead. Dolan going to try to run this one down. It's going to go the length of the ice. We'll get an icing call on White Bear Lake. 14:33 to play, period number 3. Hill Murray in familiar territory with a 1-goal advantage in the hockey game, but the first 2 times they had a 1-goal advantage, White Bear Lake able to tie it up. We'll see if the Bears can complete the trifecta. At the half wall, Slattery throws it out front and through a screen. Gorman a nice pad save. Giller plays it off the wall out to center. Zarembinski from the red line drives it deep into the White Bear zone. Gorman will set it up behind the net. Diddle being harassed by Slattery, able to play it off the left wing wall out to center. And Zarembinski again drives it right in. This time able to use the blocker pad on it was Gorman. Slattery centering pass came to the side of the crease, but knocked away from there and out to center, where again Zarembinski drives it deep into the White Bear Lake zone. Kind of a recurring theme on this shift. Seiler able to hold it in, not get much on the shot, and then the puck just a little bit too far for Sam Anderson on the far side. Pushed back by Steffen. Steffen, Sam Anderson, and finally it's Slattery that tried to drive it in, but hit Diddle with the shot. Diddle quickly ahead. And a long shot, and Ilgen will steer that over the glass and into the netting as a White Bear Lake player is down in a heap. And going to the penalty box is Davis Zarembinski. Boarding will be the call. Still unable, it was the White Bear Lake player that took that shot and did not see who that was. And Zarembinski picks up a 5-minute major for that boarding call. So White Bear Lake will go on a 5-minute major power play. 3:34 the time of the penalty on Zarembinski. And able to get up under his own power and come back to the bench is Sam Anderson of the Bears. Faceoff will be in the Hill Murray zone. Bears are 0 for 4 on the power play this evening. Given another golden ticket from Hill Murray, this time a 5-minute boarding call. So the Bears will look to try to take advantage, tie this one up, if not take a lead on this power play. Up top, Wallen sends it further along. Cross-ice pass, one-time shot. That hits the outside of the net as Diddle lined it up. Olsen trying to dig it free. On top of it was Welch. Now Olsen is able to play it free, and look out up ahead. Joey Anderson lost it in his skates. Olsen for Anderson. They do get it deep into the White Bear Lake zone. Cross-ice pass, Giller. Sends it ahead for Welch. Welch into the Hill Murray zone. Harassed from behind, skates away from that centering pass and went right through the wickets of Brady Anderson in the slot. And the Pioneers able to clear. 4:15 left on the major power play for White Bear Lake. As Giller catches up with it, has some difficulty with it, has to put on the brakes, avoids a couple of checks. Got it to the blue line, maintains possession. Giller still with it and ends up behind the net. In the corner, Lovedocken for Gillen. Or that was Welch. Welch, a shot right on. Oh, the pad save and then the rebound. Went bouncing right over Brady Anderson's stick. As the Pioneers again are able to clear at the length of the ice. Diddle and Kruger in pursuit, but the goaltender, Gorman, able to play it away from both of them. Now at center, this is Lovedocken in over the line. Got Welch with him. Lovedocken, the shot, he scores! The senior Hunter Lovedocken, power play goal for White Bear Lake. And we are tied at 3. 10th of the season, 5th power play goal for Lovedocken. It comes at 5:05 of the third period. And more importantly for Bears fans, Welch from Diddle, so 21 and 28 getting mixed up here, I guess. So credit to the goal to Welch. And for A.J. Welch, that is goal number 3 on the season, his second on the power play. Still 3:15 left on the White Bear Lake major power play. And quite frankly, kind of a weak goal there given up by Ilgen as he got a pad on it and just really couldn't control it. It ends up fluttering behind him. Lovedocken over skates it, played away from him. Takes a funny hop into the face-off dot. Pushed down into the corner by Johnson, now at the point. Near side Wallen. Cross ice. And back to the point. New power shot. Ilgen to save the rebound. Comes right out front. Oh, and unable to get a stick on it. Taking kind of a baseball whack at it that time was Michael Johnson. Right back in over the line come the Bears. Turning with it is Wallen. Wallen's already got 2. Forced behind the net. Throws it out front. They score! Wallen throws it out front. Second power play goal on the major penalty has put the White Bear Lake Bears up. It's 4-3. Anderson that will get credit for this one. And for the first time tonight, White Bear Lake has a lead. It's 4-3. This goal comes at 6:12. And we'll see if Bill Lechner wants a timeout. He is taking his timeout, so each team has taken their timeout now. So Wallen and Steffen assist on Brady Anderson's power play goal, and this 5-minute boarding call on Davis Zarembinski. As you take a look at the boarding call that has given White Bear Lake this major power play. And the Bears have struck twice on the power play to turn a 3-2 deficit into a 4-3 lead. There you see it in the upper portion, trying to get that boarding penalty for you, because that has really turned this game upside down. So Hill Murray has used its timeout, trying to settle the penalty kill unit down a little bit. Coming into the game, Bears of White Bear had connected better than 30% of the time on the power play. They've got a couple now on this major power play. 2 for 5 officially with the man advantage this evening. Play in the Hill Murray zone. Sharp the first one to it. Fanned on the clearing attempt. Comes out into the high slot. Weak backhand shot. Knocked out on front. Wallen holds it in, but we are going to get a White Bear Lake penalty. It's going to be a slashing call. And we'll go 4-on-4 on the ice for the next 150. That's when Zarembinski will come back onto the ice for Hill Murray. This also moves the faceoff all the way back into the White Bear Lake zone. 6:44 the time of the slashing call. And if you see the top right, you can see that boarding hit on Zarembinski. Nice job from the camera behind the White Bear Lake goal this period. To our right as we view the hockey game. So Welch for slashing at 6:44 has us 4-on-4 on the ice, play in the White Bear Lake zone. Michael Johnson to the far wall, Diddle. His pass knocked down by Tyler Funk. Now Funk at center. Hesitates, finds Mills. Mills a long shot, Gorman a save. Pulls it back in, he'll cover it up. He'll take the face-off in the White Bear zone. 9:35 to play in the third period. 4-3 in favor of White Bear Lake. Another 1:09 left on the 4-on-4 skating before Zarembinski comes back, and Hill Murray will have all of 10 seconds on the man advantage at that point. Slattery able to pull the draw free, plays it back to the point. Anderson back for Slattery, couldn't control it. It's pushed out to center. Giving chase, catching up with it, and backhanding it into the zone was Newpower. Slattery swings behind the net. Slattery going end to end, tried to go into the slot, and he catches back up with a sharp angle shot. Gorman kind of let the rebound out front, and now Mikey Anderson unable to hold the zone. He'll backpedal all the way into the Pioneer zone before he puts it ahead for Slattery, who got a stick on it, tapped back out to center by Cameron. Gorman trying to set it up. That's the play it away from Kruger, and finally White Bear Lake is almost like the wind has come out of the sails of this hockey game in the White Bear Lake zone. The Bears flip it out to center and dumped it right back in. Oh, it took a weird hop off the wall and almost ended up behind Chase Gorman, who dove out and helped push it wide. Hill Murray now back at full strength, and in 4 seconds, White Bear Lake will be as well. We are back to 5-on-5 hockey as that puck took a funny hop. Now it's French in over the line. French, pass was behind its intended target, Joey Anderson. Anderson plays it back to the point for Sharp. Throws it out front. Gorman the save. Delayed call coming. We've got penalties. I believe they may be offsetting. We'll see. It looks like interference is going to be the call. And maybe that Hill Murray will get its first full power play of the evening. And that is the case. So this penalty at the 9:07 mark will send Jake Diddle to the box. Interference is the call. And Hill Murray on the power play. They've only had 2 very abbreviated power plays tonight. Their power play has been good this season as well, 27.7% success. They are 13 out of 47 on the power play. And they score. It doesn't take long, just 8 seconds for Josh French to capitalize. And we are tied again. It's 4-4. 9:15, the time of the goal. Penalty kill has been kind of a sore spot for White Bear Lake this season. Killing off only 78.5% as you see the replay of Josh French's power play goal. French picks up his team leading 16th goal of the season, number 16 for 16. And actually that brings us back to 5-on-5 hockey as the Pioneers try to play it back to the point and hops the stick of Olsen, who will be the first one back to it. Tried to play it up the wall, but it rebounded right back to him, and he finds some safety behind the net. Seiler backhands it ahead. That'll go past everybody and result in an icing call on Hill Murray. Will move the faceoff back into the Pioneer zone with 6:56 left to play in the third. Hill Murray 4, White Bear Lake 4, and either team has had a lead of more than 1 goal in the hockey game, and it's turned into a battle of the specialty units here in the third period. White Bear Lake scoring twice on a major power play. Hill Murray answering with a power play goal of their own just moments ago. Zach Mills able to get it free. Drops it off. Funk a shot. Blocker pad save made. Mills back to the point. Olsen fakes the shot, now lets it go. That was knocked down by, I think it was Welch on the far side, and he sends it high out to center. Olsen chased, able to dig it free, and then he flips it out of play, and that will be a face-off coming in the Hill Murray zone to the left of a Sam Ilgen. It allows us to kind of catch our breath a little bit. 6:27 to play in regulation. Pioneers out through center. That pass was behind its intended target, and then Zach Mills was on the wrong side of the blue line by the time he was able to corral that puck and bring it in with him. So offsides on Mills and Hill Murray. Funk and Johnson on the draw. Finally controlled by White Bear. Steffen tried to drop it into the high slot, but back checking, Funk took it away. Mills taps it into the zone. Anderson drops it back off for Mills. Cross ice for Funk. Puts it out front. Gorman pad save, and Johnson there to clear away the rebound. Steffen catches up with it in the Hill-Murray zone. Pushed by Stom. Steffen wraps it around Johnson. Backhands it back into the corner. Mikey Anderson. Tyler Steffen tie up behind the Hill-Murray goal. And it's finally Tyler Funk to dig it free for Joey Anderson. And he'll just send it lightly into the White Bear Lake zone. Whippler back to play it for the Bears. Let's everybody on both sides change things up. Tapped free at center. Brady Anderson bumped off the puck, and we've got a offsides call on Hill-Murray. Big hit delivered by Dusty Kruger. 5:10 left in regulation. These teams are both no stranger to overtime. Hill-Murray has been there once. They have come away with a victory. White Bear has been in overtime 3 times this season, where they are 2-1. They're actually 2-0-1, I should say. The conference tie against Forest Lake. Overtime victories over Lakeville South and Roseville. As Kruger through center. Crosses with Slattery. Slattery, oh, put it right between his legs. Oh, great save, Gorman. Zarembinski has shot. That hits traffic out front. And Newpower backhands it out through center. What stick work from Slattery. Oh my gosh, what a move that was. Now French in the slot. He goes down. Oh, no call there. The Hill-Murray fans are up in arms over that as the Bears come back the other way. Wallen at the blue line. Sends it across. Newpower a shot, but that hit traffic and ends up in the corner. And now the Pioneers the other way. Kruger from the red line just dumps it in as Pioneers going to change up things. French the only one in on the forecheck. Bears got it to center, knocked down by Reagan and dumped right back in. On the far side, pitcher couldn't control it. Centering pass. Comes out front, and we are going to get a whistle and a stoppage in play. The White Bear net came off the anchoring system, not sure how. But we'll get that reset. We'll get a face-off in the White Bear Lake zone. 3 minutes and 50 seconds left to play in the period number 3, 4-4 our score. Ahead for Brady Anderson, taken away. Reagan in over the line, gets dropped at the boards, loses the puck. And the pass free at center, Mikey Anderson. Only an 8th grader, Mikey Anderson plays it across. Clearing attempt hit the referee. It did come out over the blue line, bounces back in. White Bear Lake called on the offsides. Johnson and Funk on the draw, won by White Bear Lake. Newpower throws it in on goal. It popped up in the air. Wilton's rebound control has been a little off at times tonight. White Bear right in, or Hill-Murray into the White Bear zone, I should say. Knocked away from Mills. And Olson drives it back into the White Bear zone. 2:45 to play. Mills a big hit. Puck came free at center, and Sharp drives it back into the White Bear Lake zone. Newpower chased by Joey Anderson. Gets it ahead. Wallen in over the right wing. Flips it toward the front. Bouncing puck. Taking a whack at it was Giller couldn't get a stick on it or check that. It was Tyler Steffen. As the Pioneers send it the length of the ice, they wave off the icing, and Jake Diddle will play it for White Bear Lake. Long pass up the middle, too far for Giller, and an icing call on Hill Murray. And Giller is saying, hey, goalie touched the puck. That shouldn't be icing. And the referee acknowledges that, and with that, we still get the stoppage, but instead of the faceoff coming in the White Bear Lake zone, it will come just outside the Hill Murray zone. Kruger finally digs it free, played it back into his zone. Out at center, it's Slattery. Ahead for Kruger, but that failed to connect. Kruger almost stole it away from Lovedocken. And now driven into the White Bear zone, Gorman sets it up behind the net. Right up the middle of the ice. Giller sends it high and over the Hill Murray goal. Dullen trying to dig it, Wallen trying to dig it free. Wallen centering pass, and Stom there to play it away for Hill Murray. French takes the pass behind him off the wall, drops it off, Slattery back for French. Oh, he steered it just wide of the near post. Held in by Anderson, and just throws it toward the front where it's deflected into the netting behind the White Bear Lake goal. 1:19 to play in regulation. 4-4 the score. Face-off win for Hill Murray, and Mills got the shot off but has it deflect out of play, so we'll reset and do it all over in the White Bear zone. To the left of Chase Gorman. This time it's Diddle sweeping in to take the puck. Puck has been bouncing a lot here tonight on the Aldrich ice surface as a wrist shot comes in on goal. Easily gloved and held, and Joey Anderson knocks a Bear player down to the ice who is wondering why that doesn't get called well after the whistle. Face-off in the Hill Murray zone with 1:03 to play in regulation. French and Giller on the draw, won by Hill Murray. Final minute of regulation, 4-4. Here we go, folks. French will take the puck from behind his net. Josh French, the senior captain, carries into the White Bear Lake zone. Behind the goal. Centering pass into Slattery skates, and here come the Bears the other way. It's Wallen, long shot. Ilgen the save, but the play is whistled down offsides on White Bear Lake. 38.3 seconds left in regulation. And at this stage, folks, I wish I was a little more rote in my White Bear Lake Hill Murray series history. Wondering when the last time these two teams played overtime was. We are less than a minute of game time. As the puck is played but not out, Anderson in the high slot. The shot steered out of play by Chase Gorman. And how could I forget when the last overtime game was played between these two teams? My thanks to the boys in the truck. 2011 section championship game in the Coliseum. One of those great memories, and the last time that White Bear Lake won in this series. The shocker that sent the Bears into the state championship. Where, just like every White Bear Lake team in the state tournament, before them they could not make it out of the quarterfinal round. which when you think about it is just amazing and defies all odds. I couldn't even imagine what kind of odds you may be able to get in Las Vegas on such a streak, especially for such a storied hockey program as White Bear Lake. In any event, Chase Gorman is making some equipment adjustments, and now he's got everything working again, and the faceoff will be to his left. 22.8 seconds left in regulation. And we're going to redo things. Well, these are some big face-offs now, and you've got it in your defensive zone. You need to win these. French tapped it toward the goal. It's cut off by Whippler and played out to center. Dumped right back in. We're in the final 10 seconds. Bears send it high out to center. Pass intercepted at center, dumped into the Hill-Murray zone, and the horn sounds, and to overtime we go here at Aldrich Arena. At the end of regulation, your score, White Bear Lake 4 and Hill-Murray 4. Teams came into the third period tied at 2. And just as they had done in each of the first 2 periods, Hill-Murray got on the board. And they did so quickly in the third period, just 21 seconds into period number 3. Davis Zarembinski. Remember that name, it will come up later in the period. Zarembinski, his second goal of the season, gave Hill-Murray a 3-2 lead. But at the 3:34 mark of the period, the same Davis Zarembinski was assessed a 5-minute major boarding penalty, and the potent White Bear Lake power play took advantage. At the 5:05 mark, A.J. Welch got credit for a power play goal. And we were tied at 3 on the same power play, and just over a minute later at the 6:12 mark, White Bear Lake would take its only lead of the game when Brady Anderson connected on the power play. And it was 4-3 White Bear Lake. But then Jake Diddle was called for interference at 9:07. Just 8 seconds later, Josh French scored on the power play for Hill-Murray. And that is where we stand, headed to overtime. 4-4 our score. Teams going to the bench for this 3-minute break. And we will come back with overtime between Hill-Murray and White Bear Lake.
Reliable sources say that chicken soup has found their way out of this
Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. Go to discovertheforest.org.
And welcome back live inside Aldrich Arena, where the White Bear Lake Bears and the #1 ranked Hill-Murray Pioneers have played a full regulation game of hockey to a tie. 4-4 is the score. And the teams coming back onto the ice to begin overtime here in Aldrich Arena. The arena that these two teams shared as home ice until a couple of years ago when the Vadnais Sports Center became available for White Bear Lake's use. We've got 8 minutes on the board for overtime. Top lines for each squad on the ice. Hill Murray in the throwback white tops and script Hill written across the front. Wins control, and Zarembinski fires it in on goal. A high rising wrist shot. It will be gloved and held by Gorman. Face off to Gorman's right. Is pulled back and Diddle, the first one to it for White Bear Lake. Feeds it ahead, now at center. Lovedocken has the puck taken away. Clearing pass by French was knocked down by Giller, but finds its way out to center. Now it's carried into the zone by Kruger. Kruger fires it wide. Diddle in the far corner for White Bear Lake. Long pass will bounce through everybody, and icing to the call on White Bear Lake. Opening minute of overtime. Eight goals in the game. Only one goal scorer has multiple goals in the hockey game. That is Jake Wallen of White Bear Lake. He scored the first two White Bear goals. Numbers 27 and 28 on the year for Wallen, who is number 2 in the state of Minnesota in the goal scoring this season. Now Joey Anderson in over the line. He's got Mills with him. Anderson, he shoots, he scores! And Hill Murray takes the rivalry game 5-4 in overtime. As you see a jubilant Hill Murray Pioneer squad mob a freshman. Joey Anderson wins it for Hill Murray just 54 seconds into the extra session. For Anderson, his 10th goal of the season provides the game winner for Hill Murray as they run their record to 13-2 on the season. Give assists on the goal to Stom and Mills, although there on the replay it looked like Anderson did it all by himself. In any event, good hard wrist shot avoids Chase Gorman, and the Hill Murray Pioneers have defeated the White Bear Lake Bears tonight by a final score of 5-4 in overtime. That the win will increase Hill Murray's record to 13-2 on the season. The loss, the second in a row for White Bear Lake and the third in their last 4, drops them to 10 wins, 4 losses, and 1 tie on the season. Both teams back in action on Saturday. For White Bear Lake, they are back in Suburban East play when they travel to Blaine to take on the Mounds View Mustangs, a team that they defeated 5-1 at the Vadnais Sports Center in early December. For the victorious Hill Murray Pioneers, they also back into conference play. For them, that means the classic Suburban when they will take on the Warriors of Henry Sibley High School right here at Aldrich Arena. That will do it from Aldrich Arena this evening. Glad that you could join us, make us a part of your Thursday night. Again, your final score in overtime. Joey Anderson, the game winner for Hill Murray, as the Pioneers defeat the White Bear Lake Bears tonight. Your final score is 5-4 Hill Murray. On behalf of Nick Anderson, Arlen Becker, all the guys in the truck, my thanks to them. Our cameramen who did a great job tonight from various locations. I am Joe Moore signing off from Aldrich Arena. Once again, your final score, Hill Murray 5, White Bear Lake 4. Good night, everybody.